So I'm just going to give you a little bit more about my story. Maybe I'll get quicker. So, yeah. So my story started in Jamaica. At the age of 14, I got the opportunity to come to. Okay, so my name is Khaled Manning. I'm 14 years old and I have dyslexia.
So just a little bit about me and what I do. So I've got 13 years experience in special educational needs. I have worked across multiple settings across the Midlands and the North West. And I initially started my journey in a mainstream college, working with the challenging boys who were studying motor vehicle engineering and construction. So a lot of these boys were at college and they come to college with no GCSEs, not passed any of the GCSEs. They were studying an entry-level motor vehicle construction or engineering qualification, and they really struggled because they had left school and they come to college and they thought, you know what, now I don't have to do maths and English ever again. And it was the complete opposite. They had to then meet somebody like me who taught functional skills, maths and English, and they would have to sit and do maths and English. So when I first started, I didn't work in that department, I worked across the college. And it was that a lot of these teachers kept coming out of these classrooms going, I'm not teaching them anymore. I don't want to teach them anymore. And I was like, all right, let me try it.
So I'm Roger Broadbent. I've been working around dyslexia for too many years to remember. I'm dyslexic myself. I get very passionate about it. I see the damage that it can do to our communities. I think what Keisha's doing today is amazing. I think it's really, really strong. And it's really good that MNU are supporting it. And I think it's something that if you can, to carry on that support, and it will thrive and grow with all the agencies that have been brought to this table.
My name is Marcia Spence. I'm the director of Marcia M Publishing House Limited and Academy for Writers. And I'm based in Birmingham, but I work with authors all across the UK, and I have authors in the Caribbean, in the United States and in Europe. I actually started this business at a point when I thought that my working life was over. I became unwell with my mental health.
As if I was reading as well as I was writing it myself.
Wow.
I could never ever express my feelings that you made me feel like I've had, and they came through as me. It was like a reflection in the mirror, basically.
Yeah.
I just saw myself, and I wished I had that power, that inner power as you have, to actually open yourself up to the world and say how you feel, and basically inspire every single person, not just here, but all over the world.
There's an honesty, a commitment, an ability to reveal things that are terribly painful and to articulate them. And I know that comes from deep, deep struggle. Yeah, you don't do this kind of stuff if everything's going swimmingly. But it gives us an insight, and me as a white woman, it gives me an insight, because there's a level of truth-telling and narrativization in a very sort of, it's descriptive, but it's rich.
I'm Simone Riley. I'm a radio personality on the BBC Radio Manchester, and I'm on Legacy 90.1, a community radio station. So about 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. And it was actually my producer at BBC that said to me, have you ever been told that you may have dyslexia? Now, the look that I gave her, I was vexed. I was like, wait a minute, how can you think I've got dyslexia? I've got a degree. I've run businesses, I've had a successful career. How can you ask me that? But then, when I started to look within myself, there was stuff that I was noticing that I was doing.
Support that you receive, because it's so important when we're talking about support. It's no point you get a diagnosis but there's nothing there. And so how did that pan out for you?
Yeah, I got loads of support from the BBC.
The support that you received, Steve, were you in that employment space? Did you receive any support yourself when you were diagnosed?
When I was diagnosed, yeah, there was a support to a degree, but even the sort of companies I was working for at the time, they hadn't really looked into it, so they didn't really know what to do in regards to, as we said, with the font sizing, the colour of the paper, using a ruler, maybe giving me more time on assignments and so on. So it was almost to a point where I was saying, I need this. And like I say, if you're going to give me an assignment or some work to do, I'm going to need 3 days to do it as opposed to a day. Or if something's being written and maybe we're going for some notes, then I'm going to need it on such and such a paper in such and such a font size.
Oh, it was an amazing day, to be honest, because I think for us in our community, we need events like that. We need the awareness of things so that we can adjust our mind and receive the help that is available.
I think that it was such an amazing day, and there were points hit on in terms of cultural background, and in terms of empowering against dyslexia, and breaking that barrier of shame and not speaking up when there are certain issues with your kids that you basically can help and handle right then and there by speaking up. Keisha Books gives you the tool to know that there's resources out there.